want to talk about
to
a
me.
couple of things, even what happened when I was not here.
Okay.
Which is Demetrious Johnson, by the way, who's...
Oh.
He's not said this much in 10 years.
Right.
That whole thing you holding. I read some of his. He said all
like
that.
the forward to a book.
Yeah.
He fucking said
Holy
a
shit.
lot.
And what the hell is he saying?
He's
What
just
is he saying?
none too pleased with Dana saying, I guess they offered him to fight with TJ, and he does not want to do it. Who does he want to fight instead?
He thinks Ray Borg, who, by the way, is like making a claim, obviously, to get a flyweight title shot. But the TJ versus Mighty Mouse fight is a fight that everybody would want to see.
Everybody would want to see that. But I got to say, I don't like, and I like Demetrious Johnson. But he says, unfortunately, UFC's mistreatment and bullying. You know, we got to stop overusing the word bullying in life. Bullying is like when someone's getting beaten up or smacked in the face or poked. Because a company you work for, you think they're being dicks, which happens to all of us.
Or Magana.
What's that?
Who?
Or Magana.
Oh, you're talking about like Cyborg? That's
cyber bullying.
No, that was bullying, though. I agree. That's bullying. What? You weren't. Was Jimmy? Jimmy was away for that.
I was away.
You know about Cyborg giving that girl Angela Magana a whack in the lip.
I do remember that. I was here for that.
Did you?
Oh,
Wait,
you were.
no.
Yeah. I remember that because she was talking shit and Cyborg kind of came up and just fucking gave her a slap.
Yeah, I saw a real.
I don't even know if
more
that's
than a
bullying.
slap.
The best
was
is
it more?
I saw it.
VIP seats.
I saw a really clean version of it, man. Like
Can I see
really
it?
up close. I don't have it. Dana showed it to me, and the best was right before it was gonna happen when they were arguing. You know, Chris Wyman. You see him go up like, "All right, girls," and then Cyborg turns to him. He goes, "Don't you put your hands on me?" He goes, "All right," and he walks away. Oh, what do you? Dana was breaking his balls. He goes, "You could have stopped that thing." He goes, "She pointed at you. It's like she had a gun." He was like, "Okay." Oh, she said it mean too. Like, don't you put your hands on me.
It was really scary. It was like, I was like, oh.
I don't see that as being bullying, though, when two fighters, even though one is bigger than the other, and you're talking shit to Cyborg. To me, that's not bullying.
No.
It's
me. No, this is what I meant by that. With the cyberbullying, that's what I meant. She was very mean to her. There's a thing where she did like she compared her face to the jig. And you know what? You see the picture, like, you know, Cyborg gets some shit. You know what I mean? And you can like, like, I don't know, man. Like, if that's your daughter or your girlfriend or your mother or something, who wouldn't, like, who is this girl that she takes the shots at her, and then, Cyborg sees her and she's still talking shit. I know there's laws. Me and Dana's like, look, man, in the real world, you can't just hit people and there's repercussions. Of course there is. But you know what? There's a lot of times when you walk away from something. I'm not giving the other, I got to give the other side of the coin. There is sometimes where somebody's being extremely disrespectful and you might take that high road and be like, you know what? I shouldn't smack this person.
But a smack in the mouth sometimes is what you get.
Well, you know what? You
fair.
might just be like, you know what? I might be, you could get in trouble for doing it, but it's almost like mentally you might have a longer sentence in your head from walking away from
Did she punch her or
Does that
slap
make sense
her?
to you?
Yeah, of course.
She gave her a punch in the mouth. A
punch or a slap?
I'm pretty sure it was a punch.
And did she really hurt the other girl?
Man, she got a fat lip. She was out at the Snoop Dogg concert shaking her ass that night, I guess. I don't know, right?
But she said she had stitches like all the way in the back of her mouth, supposedly.
Who gives a shit? You're a fighter. You're talking shit to another fighter. What do you expect? Listen.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is there gonna be anything for happening?
I'm different.
I'm
different with this shit, man.
Yeah.
I'm old school. I know. Yeah, you can't hit nobody. Yeah, but you also. This is an age. It's weird. Nobody's dealt with this cyberbullying before. And even the people like, oh, how could you bully another fighter? Not you, Jimmy, but people said that. And listen, everybody's got feelings. And if you're being a real like jerk off to somebody. And then you see that person, expect that. Fuck you.
The word bullying has got to come out. Like, cyberbullying is one thing. A fighter being a dick to another fighter online, you're just being a fucking asshole, and then another fighter called. Yeah. It's two people kind of in the same world who can both handle themselves. And if you're talking shit to Cyborg and you're a smaller fighter, you're dumb.
That's
you're
what I said.
Stupid.
It's like, I don't know what got through her head.
Did you ever hear the saying,
"Get
what you deserve"?
Yeah,
I don't
absolutely.
Know. Come on, man.
I say that every time I come.
Well, you deserve to. You're a good boy.
Yeah.
You deserve to feel good.
What the person wiping it out of her hair?
That's what you want. You tell her that's what she
Get
deserves?
what you deserve. You're complaining.
That's great. That's
but that to me is not, that's just stupid. That's just stupid.
I don't know. I'm not happy with that. What the hell?
But Demetrious Johnson, we were talking about Demetrious, and he used
Bring us
the word
back.
bullying. And it's like, look, I like Demetrious, but it's not always bullying. And he said, he made a point here. He said, UFC has failed to market and promote me appropriately. Prior to my last fight, where I tied the record for the most consecutive successful title defenses, we waited to repost UFC social media. He's basically saying there weren't any posts until a few days into fight week. Blah, blah, blah. He feels they're not promoting him correctly. And I got to say, as someone who's interviewed Demetrious a couple of times, there are times where Demetrious, when you're in, and he's a lovely guy, but he's not giving you much to go on. Like sometimes when you're, the guys that make the most and are the most popular, or even Jose Aldo said that they have to keep fighting him in Brazil because he's probably not going to sell as well in other places because he's a gentleman and he gives polite answers. Even he came out and said oh, maybe you have to talk a little.
Yeah, but it was always forced when he tried to do it.
It was horrible. It's not his nature.
It's not.
But that's what sells fights. You know, that's kind of what sells fights. More personality because we become invested in the fighter. So, I mean, why do you think people want to see Floyd Mayweather fight? 'Cause I can't fucking stand Floyd Mayweather. That's why I would watch him fight. I don't like him.
Yeah.
So Demetrious is just a very quiet guy. He gives very genteel, polite answers. Yeah. We've interviewed him. He doesn't go off script at all. And I'm not shitting on him. I like him.
Yeah.
But it's like Demetrious. Part of the problem is that like people are not invested in seeing you because you're just a lovely gentleman.
And he's part of it is like
John Jones is a mess. People love watching John Jones.
Yeah. But like Dana's point is, and I was with Dana over the weekend, and we talked a little bit about this. Like, what's going to sell more? And no offense to Ray Borg, I enjoy watching Ray Borg fight, but hell, man, you're fighting a former champion versus the champion who's about to break the record for what?
Tremendous.
I mean,
fight.
it's just. Who wouldn't want to see that?
That's a tremendous.
Who wouldn't want to see Demetrious versus TJ?
And that's a big gamble for TJ as well because Cody said, if you lose, I'll never fight you. Yeah. And again, Woody, I don't know.
No, but who's going to buy people that will sell probably better than any other fight any of his previous fights.
Yeah.
You can't name a fight that you think, oh, well, this fight was a big, well, not that it wasn't a big seller, but I see this fight as a huge fight. I don't see why what's his point on not wanting to do it?
I don't know.
What is he saying? Is he saying anything, Chris?
Well, he said, I mean, he really just said that TJ should get in line. Ray Borg has earned the shot. And,
get in line, though. He's a former champion.
Well, I agree, right.
Why the hell does he have to get in line? I mean, the guy's a former champ.
I understand both sides of it. Like, I get why they want him to fight. I get why Demetrious is going, no, I want to fight this guy. Because he wants to break that record, right? And he probably figured
you don't. But you're the champion. You got to fight whoever they put in front of you.
I guess so.
Of course so. I mean, I don't know, right? I don't know.
Well, didn't they just shake up the middleweight? Like they took out GSP and fighters were like, good, this is how it should be. Now whoever next in line is next in line.
When you got that bullseye on your back, you don't, I as the champion, like, I don't know. I mean, you think I wanted to go rematch? No, I didn't really give a shit, but I had to rematch George right away. Right. First time ever in Canada in front of 22,000 Canadians chanting, fuck you, Serra. You think I mean, is that my idea of what I wanted to?
Probably not.
Probably not. I mean, but you know what? Who am I to? I'm there to fight. I don't know. Keep it simple. Sure. Dude, you're there to fight, and this is the bigger fight. This is the fight that everybody would want to see.
It is the bigger fight.
And Ray Borg, that guy's just getting better. I mean, I don't want to take away from Ray Borg because I've said before on here that I enjoy watching Ray Borg a lot. I really enjoy his fights. But he's also a young kid, and he's going to be back in there, and he'll get a shot. But this is a fight that I think everybody would want to see. I just don't know why he'd be against it.
Well, there's also a big difference between, like you said, the GSP thing. Like, GSP never fought at middleweight. He's been out for several years. Like, that is just putting him in front of a line of people. People have been talking for years about Mighty Mouse going up or somebody coming down to fight up. So that,
I was only saying that the argument about people jumping the line or not being, and then you get a guy like, like Yoel Romero, who's the number one contender, being at one point passed over. Now, is that fight happening with him and Bisping?
No, he's fighting for the interim title against Whitaker at UFC 213.
Okay. And that's going to be fun.
Yeah, that's going to be a great fight.
Where's Bisping?
Bisping is still his knee is still recovering. Okay. Yeah,
he said he was hurt anyway, so he's going to wait, and supposedly he's waiting for George. No, or did they?
Well, but I don't think that Dana said on the show
that might not happen. No,
probably not going to happen.
Why was GSP putting October? Why was he or November? What the fuck was
he? Did he say why?
He's saying that he has a bit of an eye injury that he's still waiting to recover from. So
okay,
yeah. And that was my only problem with that whole thing being. That whole fight, I was okay with that fight because people have short memories. Because just like as far as cutting the line and stuff like that, dude, St. Pierre, I mean, that guy was a dominant champion for how long? I mean, how many fights did he win in a row? And for how many, so it's like I think that people shouldn't forget that so quickly.
I agree. Even though I didn't really care about that fight, I'm fine with Romero Whitaker sounds like a great fight.
No, I mean I was good either. I was interested to see how he'd do with with Bisping. Bisping's a big dude, good at getting up. I just like watching good fights. I mean, I can understand the middleweights division about being, hey man, you like watching good fights, but this is our lives and we're in line.
How
for
do you
this.
feel? You're actively fighting. How do you feel about it?
About what, cutting the line?
Yeah, the idea of like you get the money, the attraction to it, and what the fans want to see. But how do you feel about somebody working? You're in the ranks, and you're like, okay, now it's my turn, and then somebody else steps in.
If I was Borg, I'd be livid. I mean, what can you work your ass off, and then you think you're next up, and someone just randomly never makes the weight and just comes down. I would be pretty bothered by that. But that'd be my cue to start talking some shit, and then get my name out there, piggybacking off of what you're doing. So that's the route I would take. I understand DJ. I think you got one guy who's never made the weight. He's taking a big gamble. Well, the company's taking a gamble because they don't know if he can make the weight. He says he can make the weight, no problem. But Cody said the same thing, and I think Cody's bigger than me. He's taller than me, and I'm like, I have a hard time getting down. So there's a lot of different variables that go into this. So you got the bigger money fight, and then you got the fight that might be easier for him to break the record. So, I mean, Ray Borg's no easy out. I think his grappling is ridiculously insane, and he brings a furious pace. And then you got TJ, who's more of a technician in pretty much all aspects of mixed martial arts.
But you can understand why Demetrious doesn't talk a lot, because he's a champion. I mean, he's not looking to entice anybody into fighting him because he's the guy, like you said, with the target.
Well, he's never been like that.
Never.
Which I think Ian McCall called him out on that and said, I need to beat Mighty Mouse so we can rid ourselves of a boring champion. People want to see more Uncle Creepy. He was that guy,
Yeah.
And I mean, there was some truth to that, The same thing you were saying.
Yeah, and it's not a knock on him. I mean, you watch him. He's a master fighter. I mean, he's incredible to watch. But people aren't invested in watching the guy fight because he's just a nice guy who's a great fighter.
I want to hear him just throw out a fuck you one time.
Yeah.
just fuck you.
I think he said
You want to see the other side of it.
Yeah, because I know it's there. I know it's there. Just fucking be you, man.
Imagine he comes in next time with a grill like Aljo's got. And
Yeah.
Like, what up, son?
What's up, bitches?
But it's got to be hard if you're not that guy. Like, again, Josie Aldo, he's not that guy. If you're not that guy, to all of a sudden start being that guy just to get pay-per-view numbers, it's got to be hard, too.
Well, so to get those numbers, talk about pay-per-view numbers, nothing's going to do higher than him versus Dillashaw. So if he wants to talk pay-per-view numbers and he wants to, what's better, I mean, I don't know. I'm not
Take the fight.
Yeah, I'm not his manager or anything. I'm just saying I would be psyched to see that fight. I would be psyched because, Dillashaw is a hell of a fighter. And that would be a true test. He's coming down in weight, so he's going to be big. And, man, if you're going to break the record beating a former champion who's coming down from a heavier weight, dude, they'll be making statues of that dude right away. You know what I mean? I mean, or else you'll be fighting. And I don't want to be like Ray. I don't want to just kill Ray Borg, but he's not as much of a. But TJ's been on. He won't runner up on Tough, but he people know him from the Ultimate Fighter show, both as a contestant and a coach. He's a known guy. TJ Dillashaw is a known dude. So, man, I don't know why he wouldn't want to. He should be thanking him for this matchup, man. I'll be honest with you. I don't know. Who would you guys rather see him fight?
I would love to see. I think you're right.
I don't think anybody would say different than that.
Yeah, I think you would love. I'm going over fighters as you're talking. I'm going over guys in my head, and I'm thinking like, how many good fighters are there that people don't talk about as much unless they're hardcore MMA fans? But a lot of people don't talk about Thomas Ahmed. How many great people talk about him? Most because he's not a guy who talks a lot of shit, or he's not, for some reason he hasn't risen above that visibility where everybody knows who you are. And usually it's the guys that talk shit. Conor talks a lot of shit. Even after he lost, he came back talking shit. John Jones, these guys that even Cormier started doing it.
Yeah.
Even Cormier started doing it. I mean, it was just one of those things.